Witam wszystkich bardzo serdecznie w kolejnym odcinku Sherlocka Holmesa, Chapter 1. Idziemy poszukać tego. Z tego co zauważyłem w poradniku, znowu poradnik. Nie? Że gdzieś tutaj... O! Jest. Podobny?
If you're
Podobny.
here on matters of signing up for military service, come back tomorrow. Our department needs to straighten out some business.
Przyjrzyj się. Nie ma czasu się ogolić, okej. Nie z pozeszłej nocy. Dobra. O, ma ten medal. Nie jest zdejmowalny. I co za tu? Pracuję po godzinach. Nie doczytałem dlaczego. A to? Wino? Plama po czerwonym winie na jego nadgarstku i jego nieogolona twarz wskazują na leniwy stosunek do własnych obowiązków. Order łaźni wygląda na dość znoszony. Jest on dla tego mężczyzny powodem do dumy, nigdy nie ściąga. Pamięta ubranie i zaczerwienione oczy mogą wskazywać na to, że mężczyzna ten nie wrócił na noc do domu. Zamiast pracować, oddaje się dewacjom oraz upojeniom alkoholowym. A to? Oddech właśnie wygląda na dość znoszony, jest on dla tego mężczyzny powodem do dumy, nigdy go nie ściąga. Czerwona plama na jego nadgarsku to znak, że niedawno pił wino, jego ubrania są pamiętne, goli się on nieczęsto i jego zaczerwienione oczy wskazują na to, że cierpi na bezsenność, bądź też głębokie stany lękowe. Wygląda jakby jego życie było ciągłym koszmarem, a sam próbował pozbyć się okropnych wspomnień ze swoich błędów w przeszłości. Nie, pewnie tutaj imprezowicz.
Why are
Lecimy.
you staring at me like I'm a Madame Tussauds figure? Didn't you hear what I just said?
On my way here,
Chociaż
I was
może
wondering
być.
whether you might regret what you did. I tried my best to retain at least a shred of faith in humanity. I had hoped that you would hear her scream, see her face in your dreams, or at least once ask yourself how Nayla might feel.
Who?
Neither of my hopes were fulfilled.
Why are you here?
You defiled a girl who was with child. Don't even pretend that you regret what took place. Do you wonder why I came here? It is because I am disgusted with people like you, and the only way in my mind to rid the world of your ilk is to see you hanging from the gallows.
All right, all right. Is it about money, as you said in the letter? I have it.
W jakim
all right?
liście?
There's no need for violence.
I've never written a single word to you. As you can see, I have a more direct approach.
That letter, it wasn't from you. So what do you want?
Answers, to start with.
Fine. I suppose now we have a nice long talk. Do you drink, Mr.
Sherlock Holmes. And I do not.
Shame. All the best discussions are accompanied by a glass of whiskey. But out of respect for you, I won't drink either.
Respect.
Napij się.
That's an unusual word in your mouth, Mr.
Where are my manners? My name is Thomas Norton, a British envoy in Cordona on a military mission. So, where do we start?
Dobra, co wydarzyło się?
So, let's return to the beginning. What happened at the party?
I vaguely remember that night. As usual at such parties, you meet people, you talk with them, they invite you to spend some time alone with them. What can I say? I got myself mixed up with the wrong company, and somebody must have mixed some psychoactive substance in my drink. After that, it's all blurry. I completely lost my sanity. I made a terrible mistake which I regret deeply.
You don't say. Do refugee girls often appear on the menu at those types of parties?
It's rather rare.
So you didn't attend the party to engage in an exotic experience involving a vulnerable woman unable to accuse you of assault.
I would never have planned such a terrible thing. What happened was just bad circumstance.
Mhm. Kto
You
to?
mentioned blackmail. Tell me about it.
All right. A couple of days ago, I received an anonymous letter. It said that in the art gallery at Caravansary there exists a painting that incriminates me. The blackmailer made it clear that if there is a painting, then a photograph exists too. And I should be wary of what it might do to my reputation.
What does the blackmailer want from you?
Money, of course. What else do such people want? Needless to say, I don't remember anyone taking photographs at the party. Up until the last moment, I hoped he was bluffing. But he wasn't, as you've just proven to me.
Show me the letter.
I burnt it as soon as I read it. I've left enough evidence. There's no need for any more.
Mhm. Podejrzany
The
jesteś.
painting that depicted you in the image of the devil was stolen by a mercenary. Did you have anything to do with it?
I might be a rotten person, sir, but hiring criminals for illicit purposes is not in my daily schedule.
And buying the painting in an attempt to hide the crime, is that on your daily schedule?
What would you do in my situation?
I would never put myself in such a situation.
You're young. I could never have imagined myself in my current position. Yet, here I am in front of you. We all make mistakes, Mr. Holmes. And I'm no exception.
Mhm.
Boniface Mercurio, does the name mean anything to you?
He's an artist, right?
The one responsible for the painting that compromises you. I found him dead in his room.
Oh, that is bad. Wait, you don't think that I have anything to do with this?
You had motive to kill him.
Maybe I did, but listen. I know how this
Ale to był
looks, but
wypadek.
murder? That's on another level. I had thoughts that this Mercutio,
Mercurio.
well, him, yes, I thought he could have been the blackmailer. But I was too afraid to make any hasty decisions. There were plenty of ways to
pasuje.
fail by making a move, so I chose to wait. To see what he would do next. You have to believe me.
I don't believe people, I believe evidence.
Then look at the evidence. Mr. Holmes, I've built my entire career on hard work and uncompromising dedication to the crown. I made a mistake, but I'm not a villain from some cheap adventure fiction. By putting me behind bars, you will benefit precisely no one.
Rotting in prison is the least you deserve, but I have a better idea. You will make amends and help the ones you hurt.
Mm. Nelly, w sumie uchodźcom, a
Nelly
Nelly.
deserves the very utmost of what you can do.
Help the girl? I can't risk the press paying extra attention to her. I will do anything
No
except
to uchodźcom.
That's not all.
No to.
Use your connections to help patriate the refugees, find them decent homes, give them jobs. There must be a meaning to your position and my decision.
Yes, all right, I can do that. So, will you give me the photograph now?
I need to think this all through. Don't do anything foolish in the meantime.
What makes you think you can decide what's best for these people?
Such is the arrogance of British imperialism. I take your point.
Dobra. I teraz znajdźmy jeszcze tego Bernardotti. No to spotkamy się tam przy tej jego filmie. Coś tu mryga w tym. Fotografia zniszczy karierę wysłannika, propozycja wysłannika. Wysłannik interesuje się fotografią z ładunków pragmatycznych. Jeśli ją zdobędzie, jego reputacja będzie bezpieczna. To kobieta ze zdjęcia. Wszyscy uchodźcy są ofiarami systemu. Sytuacja, w której się znajdujemy, może zostać poprawiona. Główny cel. Brytyjski wyskładnik skrzywdził na przyjęciu na dziewczyny z obozu uchodźców. Fotografia ukazująca to zdarzenie mogłoby zniszczyć jego karierę. Z chęcią ujawnił prawdę, gdyby nie to, że on ma środki, aby pomóc. Sprawiedliwość bez litości. Wysłannik nie zasługuje ani na zaufanie, ani na wybaczenie. Po tym, co zrobił, poniżenie i obstrakcję z rozścieczonej kordony, to minimalna kara, na jaką zasługuje. Fotografia zostanie przekazana Wolgowi, a ten wszystko. Thomas Norton to zdesperowany rozpustnik, który rozpuścił się od pokopienia, raczej zasługuje na karę, ale nie mogę się z tym targować o czyjąś wolność. Wysłannik otrzyma zdjęcie, znamy za gazetę. Mniejsze zło bym tu powiedział, ale to jest jedno, a
Expecting guests?
I won't wait for an invitation, John.
a u Bernard... Halo?
Can you satisfy my curiosity?
I'm sorry, but I've never heard of that.
No palisz tu przed nimi... O, tu jest wejście na tyły? Dzień dobry. Mogę pogadać? Nie, nie mogę.
These workers don't look like your average Cordona folk.
They're refugees from the camp.
Mhm.
So many goods here. Let's find something illegal.
Porcelain
Lalki?
friend for every child.
Czaki, tu jesteś gdzieś? Nie? Cytryny?
An essential remedy against sea scourge on any ship.
Co tam masz?
That's our way in, Sherry.
Dobra, pogadajmy. Tamten ma strzelbę, czy mi się wydaje?
This is private property. You lost something.
Eee, co by tu dać? Przy zresztą chcę pogadać.
I'm here to discuss business with Mr. Bernadotti. I tried the front door, but
Mr. Bernadotti isn't seeing anyone. You have 3 seconds to walk away or you'll never walk again. Capito?
it's in Mr. Bernadotti's best interest to...
1.
Jeden.
Listen, the man Bernadotti sent to...
2.
Dobra, uderz.
I did try to resolve this peacefully.
Nie dało się pogadać. Spoko, przypomnijcie mi jak się walczy. X, do góry, trójkąt, trójkąt. Dobra.
Too simple.
Dobra, uniki jakieś. Nie. Tak,
Excuse me.
excuse me.
Don't bother moving. You've lost.
Dobra, gdzie jest kolejny? Przeładuj sobie, Sherlock. O, jest. Ty po... Mąkę, strzela mąkę. Do góry, tu.
Don't cry.
I
You'll...
kolejny.
The snuff's ready.
Zawracaj.
The snuff's ready.
Dobra, mam, tylko nie wiem jak się używa go. Tabakiera. Pyk. Pyk. Pyk.
Can overcome the brute now. It won't work this way.
Dobra, uciekaj, Sherlock.
I'm coming for you.
O, buteleczka. Do góry i trójkątuj.
Don't bother moving.
Give him the
Przeładuj.
pepper snuff.
No dobra, mam ten pepper snuff, tylko... Jeśli byś mi przypomniał jak się steruje. O, poddaję się.
Take a rest, my...
The snuff's ready.
No dobra, że snuff ready. Tym. O, trójkąt jest unik, dobra. Tu.
Don't...
A to ten z kapeluszu. Już myślałem, że go zabiję. Wszystkich ocalimy. Jeszcze ktoś tu gada. O, biegnie. Pyk.
Trying to knock this guy out.
No noknę cię. Unik. Chodź tu. No. Typo. O, nie, butel... A, dobra. To mąka. I wszyscy powaleni. Czy jeszcze ktoś będzie?
Rest, my friend.
Give him the pepper snuff.
Wszyscy. Chyba, bo się zacięło. 10 tylko? Idzie oni aresztowani? I co, tutaj mam dowody znaleźć? John... I co tam?
You've disappointed me so much, Sherlock.
Czemu? Nikt nie zginął. Halo? Co ja mam tu zrobić? Tu widzę krew. Tu też. No.
Sherry, look.
O.
This seems familiar.
Co tu jest?
A Dogon statue from West Africa. A century old at least.
Mhm. Tu jakaś maska.
Masks, traditional for the Chokwe people of Central Africa.
Chokwe? No co tu jeszcze jest? Nie. A,
VH Grindley Flow Blue Tableware. This is what lies behind the facade of Bernadotte Company Limited.
przemycają artefakty. Co John znalazłeś? O, ten obraz!
Let's see what's hidden there.
Mhm. No jest ten obraz i o, tu mogę.
Vogel's stolen painting. Isn't it curious how it developed into a much more interesting case?
Mhm. O, to typo jest jakiś.
An amazing piece of culture. I imagine many collectors and museums would be interested in having it.
Dzień dobry.
No, sir. Don't hurt me.
It's all right. I won't harm you.
Like you didn't harm the folks on the way here?
No nie zrobiłem im. Wszyscy złapani. No.
May I ask you something?
Sorry, we don't see much here.
No tu byłeś, typo. Zdanie dyplomaty. Że jest winny, ale układ. Nie. Główne biuro to jest... No to tutaj. O.
Don't come any closer. One step and I'll shred you to pieces.
Keep standing in my way and no one will ever see you again.
Righto. Yes. Yep. Well, excuse me, sir. I think I hear... I've got
Kim ty jesteś? Ty jesteś ten Bernadotti?
Whoa. Oh, wow. That was as if somebody put my words in your mouth.
Logistyka. Myślałem, że go przesłuchasz czy coś. Sterowcem? Nic. Co tam
This
masz?
is it. This is where all the magic happens.
O,
The Bernadotte Company Limited trade network reaches the most distant colonies of the Great Empire.
It must be very convenient for a man like
Please don't shoot me.
Bernadotte.
I have a family.
nie jestem przestępcą, nikogo nie zabiłem. Symbol ratusza, zaproszenie na bal.
Spare me.
No co jest? Ogłuszyłem wszystkich.
So, you've cut through all the guards just to talk to me. Come here, and we shall talk.
Dobra, wszystko? Jeszcze tu. No. Duża kolekcja. Tyle? Dobra, to Sherlock.
Whenever you're ready. I'd hate to intrude.
Przyjrzyj się. Inny niż u reszty. A, że ten... Od 3 palców teraz, tak? Nie boi się brudnej roboty. Cierpiał na pelagę. Okej, nie wiem co to. Zachowuje zimną krew. Ma broń, dobra. I... Obrączka? Żonaty. Niccolo Bernadotti to okrutny przywódca gangu, który nie boi się brudzić sobie rąk, aby podkreślić swoją wysoką pozycję. Pasuje. Ciężko pracował w młodości, zaczął odczuwać nienawiść do oczekującego świata, zawsze spodziewa się niebezpieczeństwa i kłopotu, zawsze jest równie gotów je również zainicjować. Co? Dorastał w biednej rodzinie, musiał ciężko pracować na polach już w młodym wieku, często praca w słońcu i dieta, w której brakowało składników odżywczych doprowadziła do zachorowania na pelagę. pokonał chorobę, ale jej efekty nadal są widoczne na jego skórze. Nie ma zamiaru ukrywać się tego pod drogimi ubraniami, bo woli pamiętać, gdzie mają miejsce swojego źródła. Jego motywy to samość. Bernadotti i jego ludzie mają różniące się tatuaże w tym samym stylu. Tatuaże są prawdopodobnie formą kodu, który określa różne rangi w strukturach tajnego gangu właściwie. Wyrachowany mózg gangu. Niccolo Bernadotti to surowy przywódca gangu i wyrachowany przedsiębiorca. Wydaje się być pewnym siebie i groźnym człowiekiem. Spodziewa się zagrożenia na każdym kroku. Ma przy sobie pistolet, ale trzyma go w kaburze. Bernadotti wywodzi się z klasy robotniczej, dorastał w biednej rodzinie, musiał ciężko pracować na polu już w młodym wieku. Ciężka praca w słońcu i dieta, w której brakowało składników do powodzenia. Pomimo tego, że znajduje się obecnie w komfortowej sytuacji, nadal trzyma się on z dala od luksusowego, co znajduje odzwierciedlenie w jego skromnym wyglądzie oraz ubierze. Bernadotti oraz jego ludzie mają różne tatuaże, otrzymane to było. Surowy przywódca. Okrutny przywódca gangu nie boi się brudzić rąk. No. Surowy przywódca wyrachowany wydaje się być pewny siebie, że spodziewałem się zagrożenia na każdym kroku. Ma go. To mi bardziej pasuje. Dobra, lecimy.
Bad news. The thug you sent to the refugee camp only succeeded in stabbing himself. His next and final journey will be to the morgue.
Hold your horses. Who the hell are you?
Sherlock Holmes. And you are Niccolo Bernadotti, a smuggler, kidnapper, and notorious cutthroat, among other things.
Few men would dare waltz into my office and address me like that. You are either overconfident or unintelligent. This is private property. Give me one reason why I should not shoot you on the spot. I am sure my friends at the station would call it self-defense.
Mr. Bernadotti, do you know the name Boniface Mercurio?
I do not.
Mercurio was a local artist. Recently, a man broke into his apartment, ransacked the place, and killed him. The thief was looking for something.
You are testing my patience, boy.
In a moment, the connection will reveal itself. As I said, your man was found dead in the refugee camp. He was there to kidnap a woman, but the other refugees intervened to try and save her. The ensuing scuffle resulted in the man's accidental suicide. He sported the same tattoo as your men in this building. In fact, it also bears a resemblance to the one on your neck. Care to explain what business your man had with this woman?
You have no idea what you are talking about. I can assure you this was no kidnapping. The refugees in the camp are on edge. What happened there is a tragic accident, one I am not responsible for.
For what reason was your man there if not to abduct her?
Why would I answer? You are yet to justify your presence in the slightest.
Pogadać.
I was hired, privately, to investigate the recent theft of a painting from an art gallery. My investigation led me to a man from your organization and, thus, to you, Mr. Bernadotti.
That is quite a stretch. Why would I need to steal a painting when I could buy anyone I wanted?
Interestingly
Bo
enough, I
jest
spotted
tam
the
w
stolen
magazynie.
painting in your storeroom.
I buy and sell a lot of things, Mr. Holmes. Unfortunately, if this is true, it is not the first time I have been sold stolen merchandise. I presume you were hired by the owner of the gallery. Tell them to contact me, and we'll sort out the situation. So, this painting is why you broke into my office. So many words, so little action. When you barged into my office, Mr. Holmes, I got the impression you wanted to talk business. Now I see you had come just to talk. Tell me exactly what you want, or get out.
It was necessary groundwork for what comes next. I have enough evidence to conclude that the gallery thief, the artist's killer, and the dead man in the camp are all the same person.
Your time is almost up, Mr. Holmes.
Before you draw your gun, there is one final detail I am yet to mention. The young woman your man was tasked to collect from the refugee camp had been defiled at a perverse masquerade party. That violation was captured in a photograph by Boniface Mercurio and used as a reference for his painting. The photo shows the attacker's face.
Finally. That's why you're here, Mr. Holmes. You have the photograph.
It is what your man was after when he broke into Mercurio's apartment, and it is what you're after too, isn't it, Mr.
To
Bernadotti?
You have
strzelanina?
the photograph with you. How much do you want for it?
I am not naive enough to carry it with me, but I am yet to decide what I shall do with it. I know the man in the photo is a British envoy. What interest do you have in his downfall?
I must admit, I am rather impressed by how comprehensively you have pursued this matter. And so, you deserve the honest answer. My business dealings are often arduous in their bureaucracy. A man in his position, willing to look the other way, could ease my work significantly. In return, I will make sure no one looks his way either. A favor for a favor.
Also known as blackmail, the modus operandi of any true professional.
It was not originally my idea. Mercurio set things in motion, extorting the envoy for the most trivial of ends. Money. In response, the envoy hired my man to retrieve the painting and the photograph.
Czyli jednak wynajął.
Mercurio's leverage. I only learned the whole story after the artist was killed in his home.
And rather than extricate yourself, instead you took over Mercurio's venture.
It fell into my lap. As a businessman, I simply seized the opportunity. Now, how much do you want for the image?
Dobra, przemycone artefakty.
Could not help but appreciate the collection of smuggled artifacts in your storeroom. You have rather diversified your business.
Oh, high and mighty of you, Mr. Holmes. Not all smuggling is immoral. I pay generous rates to developing cultures and spread their culture to eager buyers. And furthermore, I supply many immigrants with a taste of home.
A very convenient way of thinking.
I have traveled wildly, Mr. Holmes. I've seen people in far-flung lands for whom my services are a lifeline. Without them, they would starve. The tax on cargo is often so absurd that it would be more profitable to simply sink your ship than dock it in the harbor. And trust me, I am speaking from experience.
Po co
Why did
panu?
you send your man to remove the woman from the camp?
Without a photograph, her testimony was the next best thing. Securing her was in everyone's interest. Victims and witnesses all too often disappear. I thought the girl was safer with us. I did not anticipate what would happen at the camp.
I saw refugees from the camp at your warehouse. They work for you.
I have made certain arrangements with City Hall and the police. Thanks to me, refugees can work and be paid.
Czyli
It's a
przemycać.
pathway to freedom.
And how much do you save by capitalizing on their cheap labor?
I have
Sporo.
heard no complaints. They seem happy just to get out of that slum.
Why should I give you the photograph?
Just name your price.
What if my price were not money? You claim to have connections, Mr. Bernadotte. Perhaps you could improve conditions for the refugees. Give them a chance for a better life.
Ha! I do have connections, Mr. Holmes, but help the whole camp? You are asking too much. I could, however, make arrangements for one person. The woman who was violated will have her own home outside the camp, solely for her and her child. She will no longer be a refugee, but a princess. That I can guarantee.
Is that really possible?
It will be neither fast nor easy, but I can do it. She deserves it, don't you agree? And as for her abuser, he will serve me as much as he deserves.
So, in your plan, everybody will be given their due. Especially you, Mr. Bernadotte.
Seems like a fair deal, no? I doubt anyone could offer you better. Simply give me the photograph, and the world becomes a better place. I give you my word.
Okej, no to... Kluczowe dowody. Chyba mamy wszystkie dowody.
Open, sir. You can leave through it. If you want, of course.
Wejdę. Mamy już chyba wszystkie dowody. Co tu jest? Zeznanie dyplomaty. Twierdzi, że on jest winny. Przyniesie on... No, wszystko. Przegadane. Pałac pamięci. Nelia to kobieta ze zdjęcia. Propozycja Bernardottiego. O. Wszyscy uchodźcy są ofiarami systemów. Może zostać poprawiony. Nelia została poprawiona. Nie no, bardziej bym się skłaniał, że wszystkim poprawić. A to mogę połączyć? To też mogę połączyć. Bernadotte chce zabrać dowody przeciwko wysłannikowi. Mniejsze zło. A w drugą stronę to będzie jaki ten wniosek? Bernadotte wie, jak odwrócić sytuację na swoją korzyść. Dyplomata to okropny człowiek, a Bernadotte próbuje wykorzystać to do swoich celów. Żadnemu z nich nie można ufać. Tylko prawda rozwiąże tę sprawę. Muszę dać fotografię Borgowi, aby mógł on upublicznić całą sprawę. Nie. To też mi... najbardziej bym się skłaniał to. Tomasz Norton do typowanych. No, zasługuje na karę, ale może wyniknąć coś dobrego z tego, więc wracamy do urzędu. No to witaj, typie. Oddaję ci to zdjęcie.
Thought it all through?
No, daj mu to
Holmes,
fotografię.
the refugees, what will happen to them?
Well, I wouldn't be standing here in this fancy office if I didn't know how to pull the right strings. In fact, it's the only thing I know. The local governor will receive a decree signed by the House of Lords containing a request to patriate the refugees in the name of the Crown.
From where did you gain such influence?
I never asked you how you found the photograph. So don't ask the magician how he performs his tricks.
But how can I believe you?
Ugh, I presume you do believe in my selfishness. The initiator of the refugee salvation will be none other than the British envoy, savior and protector of those in need. It's a win situation for me, too. Now, what about the photograph?
You deserve to be punished, but the greater good is what matters here. I won't bargain it for justice for Nate.
I'm glad that this situation is over.
It will be over when you settle the matter of the refugees.
You have my word, Mr. Holmes.
Rozwiązane. Głos ludu. Nie? A, tutaj, do Wolga. Wolgę ogarnąłem.
Mr. Holmes, you've returned. Have you uncovered anything new about the theft?
No pewnie.
I've brought news, but not all of it will please you.
Fill me in, Mr. Holmes. I won't shoot the messenger.
I to
I
nie.
located the thief, but found him rather cold. He was tight-lipped about the painting, too.
Huh, he's dead. How very droll, Mr. Holmes. One presumes you were not responsible.
It was an accident at the refugee camp. He impaled himself on his own knife.
Life is nothing if not cruel and capricious.
No i
I
Merkury
tracked
też.
down Boniface Mercurio.
I presume he wasn't delighted about the situation.
He was not having a good day on account of his murder. Killed in his own flat by the same person that stole his painting.
Oh, sweet Mercurio, perishing in the pursuit of his art. How apt. I will miss his exceptional sense of humor. What about the stolen painting? Have you located it?
I found the painting, but I could not retrieve it.
Well then, where is it?
In Bernadotte's office.
Bernadotte? That shady businessman? Why would he steal it from me?
I'm afraid you'll have to ask him yourself.
I take it you found something more then. What happened to your crusade of truth? Was it not that important, after all?
No truth will satisfy you, Mr. Vogel.
It was not an attack, Mr. Holmes. If you've chosen not to tell me, I respect your intention. But it is just rather boring, isn't it?
It is what it is.
Well, now that we've resolved all of our outstanding matters, I have a gift for you. I took the liberty of having it delivered to Stonewood Manor. I am told it belonged to your mother.
Co takiego?
And what exactly have you sent me?
Frankly, I'm not sure how to answer that. I trust you'll know.
Mhm.
Previously, you mentioned there may have been more to my mother's passing than consumption. It appears you were right.
Oh dear, I'd hoped to be wrong.
She was unstable, mentally unwell. She required sustained, specialized treatment, but her madness persisted.
I knew that Violet had disappeared from the public eye, but had no idea of her suffering. I cannot imagine what you're feeling.
I'm fine.
To ty Vogel?
Thank you, Mr. Vogel. I am curious to see what you have
Kto
procured.
trzymał Sherlocka? No dziękuję, paczka od Vogla. Czyli teraz do swojego domu. Wróciliśmy.
Sherlock Holmes, I presume.
Mhm.
Correct. With whom do I have the pleasure?
Emilio Estevaux.
Happy to make your acquaintance. I am here on behalf of Mycroft, your brother. He's on his way to Cordona. In the meantime, he requests your assistance with a sensitive matter. My orders are to provide you with the details.
No to
You
słucham.
have my attention, Mr. Estevo.
Mark Ridley, the son of General Arthur Ridley, is being blackmailed. Suffice to say, the compromising material is of a delicate nature. The matter is of no small importance to the Crown, especially given the status quo on Cordona.
Status
What
quo?
about the status quo?
The Ottoman population holds a certain animosity towards the colonial rule. It's been this way since we took over the island. General Ridley made concessions with their leaders, but I'm afraid we are still teetering on the edge of open hostility.
What does
Co miałbym
Mycroft want me
zrobić?
to do? Retrieve the blackmail material?
No, sir, nothing of the sort. Mark Ridley is meeting the blackmailer atop the old city bridge tower. You shall observe from a distance, then establish the blackmailer's identity. Do not attempt to arrest him. We'll handle it from there.
Saving the best for yourself? Fine.
There is a cafe just over the bridge that provides a good vantage point. Please report to me when you are done. I'll be waiting for you here, and remember, discretion is of the essence.
Czyli wszystkim powiem. O, słonik! Został u nas? To jest ta skrzynia. Dobra, co? Wogel, coś ty mi przysłał.
It's a bizarre object, and yet oddly familiar.
No mam syrenka. Mhm.
Did you just remember something?
Yes. A room full of curiosities and artifacts. I think I can find it in the manor.
Sherlock. So, you continue to pursue the imaginary. I had hoped you might have got all this out of your system by now.
Mycroft, what are you doing here? Get out of my house.
It's my house, actually. I've come to bring you back.
I have no
To czemu
interest
ten
in
typ...
returning, let alone
Nie wiem.
with you. I know you lied about Mother all these years, claiming she was merely ill, but she was unstable. She never had tuberculosis. She was not recuperating, but mentally deteriorating, and you never once thought to tell me. How dare...
I shall not indulge this petulant tantrum. You can just tire yourself out and then slink back to London with your tail between your legs.
Just tell me everything! I'm an adult now. Show me the basic courtesy of an explanation. You know I will find out eventually.
The goal was stability, and that's what you got. The right thing for everyone was to try and move on from her passing.
The consequences of one's actions determines what is right or wrong.
Yes, exactly. The ends justify the means. After leaving Cordona, Sherlock, you had a normal childhood. In London, I was able to support you, guide you, shape you into a fine and productive young man. You have so much potential, so much to offer society.
But that's not the end. Now I found the truth, and it has shattered everything I knew about her, about you, and about myself. I feel unstable because of you. Your actions were not justified. Lying never is.
Oh, grow up, Sherlock. It was a white lie which has as much use in the realm of the interpersonal as the international. It is time you come to accept that some things are bigger than yourself.
Oh, you are full of it. You like to pretend you care about the big picture, but it's just an ego trip. You like knowing more than others. You like greasing palms and rubbing shoulders with the rich and powerful. You like having eyes and ears everywhere. The fact it helps the nation is incidental, because all you care about is yourself.
It's true. I have agents everywhere, including Cordona. If you weren't so damn stubborn, you'd realize that means I'm only here for you.
Papa Minecraft. Dobra. Dlaczego żeś Minecraft wysłał o tego typa, skoro i tak tu przyszedłeś? Nie wiem. To by było na tyle w dzisiejszym odcinku. Dziękuję za uwagę. Do następnego. Cześć.